look, have a happy face today.
Why wouldn't you have a happy face?
My face always look like something wrong with me, but I'm smiling.
That's funny.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Good evening.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
My name is Rhonda, and this is my handsome husband.
You're handsome.
How did I say it?
You're handsome.
I'm not that tired. I'm tired.
My name is Andrew,
and we are 30 till forever. I'm gonna need you to come close over here in my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Get on over here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't act like you scared of me.
Oh, I'm not.
So if you ever noticed from our title, tonight's this conversation is gonna be stubborn and married.
Yeah, stubborn and married.
Or married and stubborn.
Oh, married and stubborn. Either way, however you want to put it.
Bullheaded and married. Bossy and married. How many bosses is in your household?
Yeah, it should be only a couple. The husband and the wife is the boss, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I found that the husband tends to be the boss.
Really? Well, I know I'm the king of my castle. So, and you the queen.
Absolutely.
So, but you know, hey guys, this is a topic that we wanted to dive into. It's just something about this topic that just it was who we were back when back early in our marriage, I would say, because both of us had some stubbornness in us.
Both of us still do have some stubbornness in us.
And here's the thing: I think we all have stubborn. We all are stubborn at times. I think we are.
A lot of the time.
A lot of us have you know we have stubborn ways because we don't back. Once we get hooked on something, we don't back down off of it. We stay on it. And you know, I think that's so true. And what we do as far as, you know, our in our marriages.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
I'm sorry.
What do you think? How do you view being stubborn?
How do I view being stubborn?
Yeah, how do you view being stubborn?
My way or the highway, baby.
Really?
I mean, it's like you always want to be where you and your partner can be able to agree on things, but I remember in our younger years, I've changed a lot, so I'm a lot easier to deal with, but I still have my tendencies to be like, okay, so this is how I feel, point blank period, that's how it is. But earlier in our marriage, I was more of, this is how I feel and this is the way it's going to be, and no matter what you say or what you do, nothing is going to change me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, that's just how it was back then. It took a lot of counseling for me to get to the point where I am today, to where I've learned not to be so bullheaded. But when you're in a relationship with someone who's always telling you, go here, do this, do that, stop here, don't do that, don't put this makeup on, don't comb your hair that way, I don't like that dress you got on, I don't like.
Well, that's just being controlling. That's really.
But it's a lot of it does have a lot to do with being stubborn, because if you're married to someone who is controlling like that and they're always trying to tell you what to do and when to do it, it's sometimes somebody got to give in.
And see, I think, you know, and you said the one thing that being stubborn is a way that you can manipulate and control people.
Control people, yes.
You know, I've been thinking about that all day, and how husbands and wives, we tend to
manipulate and control each other.
Yeah, and we call it being stubborn. And
we also call it just being concerned sometimes.
Concerned? Really? Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, when you got two stubborn people in the household,
right?
I wonder how that dynamic is going to work, because over time, somebody is going to get fed up with the other person's stubbornness.
Right.
And when they get fed up, it leads to other stuff. It leads to ill feelings. It leads to arguments, fights. It leads to the person feeling not being fulfilled in the marriage anymore. Then it leads to maybe even cheating, and other stuff, because of being stubborn. Oh, I was getting there, being stubborn. So I was just curious about that because many of us when we don't consider what we're doing controlling or being stubborn in our marriages and our relationships. But because look, we know some bullheaded people and bullheaded couples. Both
right.
of them.
I mean, both two of them sitting right at the table.
But here's the thing: we've learned how to manage our way through our stubbornness. Because I know that I'm stubborn at times, and I know that, I know that you're stubborn at times. But the only thing is, when you know that you're stubborn, and you know that your spouse is stubborn, somebody needs to take the high road eventually, and say, okay, this is not even worth me drawing a line in the sand, or me just backing down. Just say
it's not worth the argument.
It's not.
It's not worth you fighting and trying to get your way on certain subjects. Sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yeah, and
come to an agreement.
Somebody has to search for peace in the relationship.
Yes, somebody has to be the adult.
There's some typing on yours.
No, that's just like.
Oh, okay. But I'm sitting up there and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how when you got two bullheaded people, two stubborn people, and I was trying to find a graphic where I had two bulls that were just locking horns, because that when you got a married couple who's stubborn, or a couple who's both people are stubborn, they're always locking horns over everything.
Yeah.
They're always fighting, and everything is
and
something.
It don't even make a difference. Exactly. Everything is something that you're going to be having disagreements over with on a daily basis. And the sad part about it is that most of the time, the things that we're disagreeing on and wanting to bump heads and lock horns over, it's not even worth the time or the energy that is put into being so stand your ground on.
Somebody in a relationship has to search for the positivity in those situations. I know everybody wants to be right.
Me. I do.
Everybody wants to be right. And you and I, we've had this conversation a couple of times recently. And this is, remember we were talking about a person that's stubborn, they're not willing to see any other aspect of a view, any other viewpoint, any other point of view other than what they say right then.
And I thought you just said that about me recently.
No, but we've had that discussion recently a couple of times, and I'm just saying that people they won't take any other point of view. They'll just say, okay, what I feel and how I feel, and then that's it. I don't care. You can talk to me till the cows come home. Yeah, you're not changing my mind. I don't care what it is. And people will draw a line in the sand that way. And you and I, we've had that discussion recently.
We just had this discussion yesterday. So, and it sometimes it just depends on the subject matter or what it is that's going on. And I feel like each person should take a stance back and look at the situation or the conversation and see if they can move towards the other person's point of view, or if they feel like they can't move towards the other person's point of view. Just at that time, you have to just say, okay, I hear what you're saying. I just don't agree with it. So, but I'm not willing to keep arguing about this. But like, if you say that to me, the person that I am, that you're not willing to continue to the discussion, I want to know why. Because I'm just like, no, we should be able to agree on this. If it's something that I feel is simple, but that's the thing, it's just something that I feel. We did eventually agree to disagree, and
but people aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to agree to disagree about anything.
Because they feel that they're right, and that's it. And that's how I used to be. If I felt like I was right, I just felt like I was right. And I'm going to argue my point or say something sideways. That was back then, not now. I will argue my point and say something sideways until I think I got you to understand and to agree with what I'm saying. But it don't always work out like that. So when it comes to making decisions in your household, whether it's financial decisions or whether it is sexual or whether it is just basic household duties,
Mm-hmm.
how do you find yourself coming to agreements on things? Because I know a lot of people will look at me and say, because you work all day, you come home and you cook.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm wrong for that.
Why? Because what works in my house
it might not work for someone else.
Exactly.
And you would think that, and a lot of people say, because they look at it probably like she don't do nothing. But in fact, I do a lot.
Yeah, you do. But you own your own business.
I do run my own business, and I run my business from home. But some people still look at it like, she's at home all day. Why is she not cooking? And I do cook sometimes. When I get a break in the day,
Listen,
I will cook.
I like to cook.
You do, and I don't. And
I
used to not mind doing meal planning.
Cooking for me is therapeutic.
And cleaning for me is therapeutic.
It's relaxing.
You don't clean. Then that's fine. You like to cook, I like to clean.
Yeah.
If you cook, I'll clean. But I don't like to clean up after you cook. Because I've never seen nobody use so many utensils and dishes in my life. I'm just like, what's going on?
But let's get back to stubborn people.
It is. That's stubbornness.
No, it's not.
Okay, keep going.
No, but when couples get caught up with not being able to back down off of a feeling or off of a situation, or it's my way or the highway, I'm the boss of this house, we're gonna do things my way. Because like I said, we know of couples where the husband and wife, they constantly do this.
Yeah.
And they have been for years. Now they have great times together, on the off times. I call them the off times when they're not bumping heads.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually they come back to bumping heads again. And so much so they don't want to be around each other.
And then that's sad too, because you end up having more of those bumping heads times than you have those good times where you're actually enjoying being around each other. And that's sad. And it's just simply because you can't ever come to an agreement on anything without bumping heads.
Yeah.
So what I've learned over the years is that, number one, I have learned how to communicate. I have definitely learned how to communicate. And communication, I know, is key. Back earlier in our relationship and in our marriage, communication was me going at you like, rah, 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 and this is what I said, and you better do. But as we have grown, it's more of, well, you say that's not asking you though, so never mind.
Lawrence told me, he said, clean as you cook, man.
Right. Thank you, Lawrence. Clean as you cook, or don't cook.
Hey.
Or don't cook. Because I will eat a can of soup.
Okay. Whatever. But, listen. How many of you out there, you and your spouse, you guys are, y'all bump heads all the time because both of you are stubborn? How many of you out there, I should call both of y'all strong-willed?
Strong-willed. Bullheaded.
Bullheaded.
Bossy. Want to have your own, what's another word for wanting to have your own way other than being bullheaded and bossy?
I don't know.
I don't either, but it's just so many times that you'll see. I've seen couples in a relationship where it's not so much as, I don't like relationships like this, and I know some people look at me like this sometimes because I have learned over the years that sometimes it's better just to say yes, sir, and keep it moving, because I'm not confrontational like I used to be. I used to not mind a confrontation, but as I've gotten older and a little bit milder, I don't do confrontations well with anybody. I just don't. Mm-hmm. But I've seen couples to where it's always either the husband is the one that's doing the pushing around, or it's the wife that's doing the pushing around, and it's all one of them is always like, okay, baby, yes, baby, okay, whatever you say, okay, and I've gotten that pushed at me before. Can you believe it?
But the only thing is, when you have that, you have one person that's doing all the pushing,
and one person being pushed
eventually
around.
the one person that's being pushed around
is gonna have enough of it.
They're gonna be fed up at one time, and then when they're fed up,
explode.
they're gonna be fed up, and then the person that was doing the pushing, they gonna be thinking, well, this is how our life been all this time. Why do we have to change what we do? So it's important that if you and your spouse, or whoever you're in a relationship with, if y'all are constantly bumping heads because both of y'all are stubborn and bullheaded, like I said earlier when we started, somebody has to look for the silver lining from the beginning. Somebody has to take the high road. Somebody has to look for something positive out of it, and just say, hey, can we talk about how we're handling this? Like I said, my wife and I, she's strong-willed and I am too.
I am so mild-mannered.
If you say so. But we've learned over the years, because people will tell you, when we first got married, people considered, they were like, why is he, people on the outside looking into our marriage, they would say, how is he even married to her? Because she's so pushy, she's so bossy, she's this and she's that. But like we said earlier, being stubborn is a way to control the other person. And most people, when you got two people that's bumping heads, they're saying, I don't want to give an inch, because if I give you an inch, you don't want to take more than that, and I don't want to give up anything.
Right.
So you got two people that don't want to give up anything. See, in your relationship or in your marriages or whatever you're in, it takes sacrifice.
Oh my God, yes.
It takes sacrifice.
Absolutely.
But nobody wants to give up on anything. Nobody wants to sacrifice.
Right. AP on the Instagram page said, me and my hubby are both headstrong. However, we have learned over time how to compromise.
And that's the key word, compromise.
You have to be able to sit down and look at it from every angle and come to a decision together.
Right.
So, I mean, but it's just, if you can't sit down and talk about things and try to talk it out to get to that point of compromising, then all you're going to do is argue all the time.
Yeah,
and sometimes you got to think, is it worth it?
But I know a lot of couples, they want to argue so they can make up.
Yeah, they want that makeup sex, and baby, makeup sex is not all it is cracked out to be.
Yes, it is too.
Cracked up to be. How am I saying? Am I saying it the right way? It is not what you think it is.
What did Wendy Seabrook? She
I did not see it. It was a text message. I have to get back to that later.
It says she lost the stream.
Oh.
I don't know what she was on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But man, but how can, I don't understand how, if you like AP said, if you don't learn how to compromise, eventually somebody is going to be hurt, mad, and ready to walk away.
That's true. So I can go back to in our relationship, how people used to always say.
Alicia said, yes, it is.
Right. So in our relationship, see, no, anyway, in our relationship in the past, the problem that we had was...
Thank you, Lawrence. Lawrence said, yes, the hell it is. See, that was
all y'all nasty. You're just nasty.
No.
But in the past, in our relationship, because you had brought it up where people was like, how is he even married to her? Because I was so bossy. I was the same way, in the house, out the house, no matter where we were. This dude right here was the gracious husband, the sweet this, the sweet that, everything that you could see on the outside of the house. He was that. He was everything that in appearance to everybody else. I knew how he was behind closed doors, and I was just me. So if we got into it and we were in the street and he might say something sideways to me where only I could hear it and nobody else could hear, I would respond where everybody could hear. Because my whole thought process, oh, you gonna act the fool when we get home, so I'm finna go and embarrass you right now. So it is. People would always say, "Why is he married to her?" I was bossy. I was pushy. I was complaining. I was that nagging wife. I was all those things, and it was bad. It was bad. I'm telling you, I know it was bad. And this could have played a part in the 2 separations that we had. But in the end, the decision to mess up or step outside your marriage is your decision to make. But the thing is that everybody plays a part in everything that goes on in the relationship. And if you got 2 bullheaded people that's always bumping heads all the time, you got to stop and think that the actions that you're having is going to have a reaction. And are you willing to deal with that? Every action has a reaction. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to deal with the reaction of how you are possibly making your spouse feel at that time? So you have to be able to sit you have to be able to sit down and discuss and compromise. Why you grinning? Why you laughing?
Marky said Miss Rhonda don't play.
Miss Rhonda was not a good Miss Rhonda back in the day. You would not have wanted to know me, Marquise. And Alicia said a whole bunch of stuff that I do not see.
Philippians 3, do nothing out of
contentiousness or out of I need my glasses.
Egotism.
But with humility, consider others superior to you. We truly try to remember this when we're. This is so bad. Absolutely, Alicia.
I agree 100%.
And he's definitely better at it than So I mean, you do have one of that's better at it than the other.
You grow into it. You mature into it.
You do. And the longer you be together, the more. And that's the thing.
Because eventually somebody in the relationship is going to get tired of the constant bumping heads.
And some people just like that so they can have makeup sex.
Yeah, but somebody eventually is going to be tired of just
always bumping heads.
Yeah, they're going to get tired of it.
And the sad part is that if you don't recognize this thing coming and happening in your relationship, somebody will end up walking.
But most young people now, I won't say young people, but most people early in their marriage, you're still trying to fill each other out. I don't care how long you've dated until you're married and living under the same roof. Then you will honestly see how that person really is.
Well, nowadays people put the roof before the marriage. So
but it's different.
It is. Once you say I do, stuff still changes.
It changes.
Stuff
and
still
then
changes.
all of a sudden, then you like,
who is this person?
Yeah, and then next thing you know. And then
who this is?
And then next thing you know, you're bumping heads over everything.
How you took your drawers off, where you placed your drawers, how you brush your teeth, how you squeeze the toothpaste. I mean, it's and some of the arguments that you get into are so stupid. And
and like I said, somebody eventually is gonna have to mature past that and take the high road. Now, my wife, she has a coping mechanism with me, because look, like I said, we're both strong-willed, we're both stubborn, we like our way, but if she deems something not that important, she'll say yes, sir.
Yep, and just leave it alone.
And at first, when she first started doing that, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal that she was calling me sir. I was like, man, she got it going on. She calling me.
You got it going on because I'm calling you sir.
Woo! What? She called me sir? Yeah, she's showing me respect in my house. Whoop, whoa, yeah.
But in fact,
it was.
In fact, it is still a way for me to cope and to deal with his bullheadedness, because he don't back down sometimes, and I just be like, you know what, this ain't even worth arguing about, because it could go to a whole different level. Me trying to cope with it and allow this to pass, I say yes sir, which means I don't want to talk about this no more. I ain't finna deal with this no more. You can have it. It ain't even worth my energy. And I think a lot of that, and this was because of the counseling that we went to, so that I could learn how to not just snap on you every single time you would say something to perturb me. So, and it wasn't nothing that when we was going through counseling that Mary Grace told me to do in order to. She just said find a way to work through it, and that was yes sir, whatever you say, sir. And I just that at first it was that deep breath every single time. Now I just be like, yes sir.
And recently, over the past couple of months, every time you say it,
You think about that.
I think about it. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, I'm up here. I said,
always bossing me around, pushing me around,
No.
having your way and doing what you want to do and not caring about what I say or hurt my feelings. You ain't right.
No, I didn't.
You should think, you should think about all that. Every time you hear me say yes, you should think about.
But the reason why, what I was feeling is, man, I've done something to really upset my wife if she has to say that now.
But sometimes it is just a matter of out of respect. It's not always because.
But every time it come out your mouth now, I'm thinking like, dang man, I just said something that my wife had to back down from. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I'm like, what did I say or what did I do to cause my wife to have to back down from me? Just to keep the peace. And because, you know, like I said, most people, they look at us and they say, oh, they so cute, they so loving, but they don't see all the stuff when we have our spirited discussions.
And boy, can they be spirited.
And discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what are you doing? Boy,
I'm reading a comment.
What was it?
Mark, he just said, dang, Pastor Andrew. But I'm just saying, you know, everybody has a bit of stubbornness in them.
Everybody does. You just have to learn how to work through it.
And you have to learn how to compromise. And it takes at least one of you to mature past that.
No.
What?
Both of you got to mature past that.
It has to start with at least one
person.
It's
going to start with one person, but both of you have to realize that the damage that you are doing when you are always pushing the other person around and being bossy. And this is one of the things that I always say you. And I tell you this because you do have a tendency to put your opinion in everything that I do, whether I ask for it or not, and you have this way of saying it to make me feel like that's something that you have to do. And I've said this to you before.
Mm-hmm.
And I the only thing I be trying to tell you is that can I please make my own decisions sometimes? And I know, and it's not me trying to say that I know it's making you sound bad, and you're not bad, but we do have those moments with things that I feel like I can make my own decision over that you always have to put your 2 cents in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but the thing is that we have the discussions. And then we come to a final conclusion, usually after I say, see, you're doing it again. And then we'll still end up making the decision together, but you definitely let me know. But it's the same thing when it's something that you got going on and I feel like, okay, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but this is my opinion. And you can throw it in the garbage if you want to, but this is just how I feel about certain things. And I do that a lot. But I always feel like it is important for you to at least get your opinion out there. That way, if you have an opinion about something and the other person has an opinion about something, you can put both opinions out there on the table. Then you can come together and you can discuss it so that you can make a decision based on how both of you feel.
Yeah, but, you know, when you got 2 bullheaded people, that don't happen.
And that's the thing. Somebody has to, like you said, be mature enough to step past that bullheadedness, to look past their selfishness, because that's what it comes down to. When you always want your own way, how you want it, all the time. Right. You're being selfish. You're not taking the other person's feelings into consideration.
Right. And Marquis said that's true. Compromise can save a lot of relationships.
Man.
And like I said, it saved our marriage.
It did. It was hard work, though. And that's the thing. I think people think that being married is easy, that once you say your I do's, everything is going to get better, and it really don't work like that. For anybody,
marriages evolve. They continue to grow and continue to evolve.
Exactly. And
nothing
nobody
stays the same in a marriage.
Exactly.
So you can't keep both of you can't keep being stubborn forever and a day, because like I said, even though it might be fun to have makeup sex, you know, when you later on, but eventually that's going to play out.
It will.
And then eventually somebody's going to be upset, and somebody's going to be ready to walk away from their relationship with you. And when they're ready to walk away, the other person's gonna be standing there looking like, what
happened?
What did I do? You know, this is how we are. This is what we do. I thought we loved each other. Why you gotta leave me now? Why you gotta do this? And it's because that one person decided, hey, I'm tired of.
I can't do this anymore.
I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of bumping heads with both of us being stubborn in the house. So if y'all can't agree to do any kind of counseling or agree to talk through your problems, where the reason why you got to where you were at, and here's the thing about that: a stubborn person, they're not gonna be willing to accept what they hear.
Right, and the counseling thing usually don't work for a person who's not, who does not have the spirit of
reconciliation.
Not reconciliation, but it's the of being taught, a learning spirit, a teachable spirit, a teachable spirit. So you have to be in the position where you're willing to take constructive criticism and be able to listen to not just what your spouse is saying to you, but also if you do decide to seek counseling, that you can take what the counselor is saying and roll with it and go and learn from what they're saying, so that you can build your relationship. Because if you go to counseling in the first place, it's because you want to get better.
Right.
But if you go in there with that attitude is that I don't care what they say, I am who I am, and that's all that I am, and ain't nobody gonna change me.
You're wasting the counselor's time, and you're wasting
your time and your money. Most of the time, you're wasting your money too.
You're right.
And the thing is that I was at a point in my life at one time where I used to always tell people, I am who I am. This is who you get. I'm this way day in, day out. And I was. That's how I was. That is just how I was. But then until someone came and told me that the way that I was wasn't always a good thing, I was just like dumbfounded. I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm always honest. I'm always, you don't never have to worry about getting a fake Rhonda. You're going to always get the Rhonda that you see. The Rhonda that you see is the Rhonda that you're going to get. You don't have to worry about me going behind your back and talking about you, because I'm going to say it to your face. And that's just the way that I was then. But as I got older, I found out that just because that's the way that you is, everything that goes through your mind don't need to come out your mouth. And that includes to everybody that you're talking to, and when you're, especially when you're talking to somebody that you say that you love. If I love you, I'm not just gonna, just because it's coming, unless you're just trying to hurt that person, be mindful of the things that come out your mouth. Your tongue is a weapon.
Yes,
and once it hits the other person's ears, you cannot take it back. Even if they say that they forgive you, they don't forget that they heard what you said. So be careful what you're saying. Right. I feel like you should always try to build the other person up. But out of anger and stubbornness and being bullheaded, and because you can't have your way, you get ugly and you start saying things that you might mean them, but you're going to want to take them back later. So don't say it.
If you got to take it back, then you ain't mean it the first time. You ain't mean it when you said it. So
that don't mean that you ain't mean it when you said it.
Nah, if I said it, that means I meant it when I said it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You said it. So obviously somewhere in there is some truth about the way that you feel about me. So this is something that either we got to work on, or you're going to have to explain to me why you say those things to me, because I need to know. Is that how you truly feel about me? And if that is how you truly feel about me, then we need to do something so that this got to get better.
I was sitting up there listening to you, and I just had this picture of I was picturing us arguing, and it's not just something that we do, but how.
But we do.
No, not like this.
Oh, you pictured us having an argument?
I'm just picturing this. Just go with me for a minute.
I'm going.
We're sitting up there. We're having an argument.
We're having a discussion.
And both of us are dug in to where we stand. And you fly off and say, I can't stand this fool, and you go start telling people you can't stand me, I ain't no good, and the reason why I can't do anything right, and you always right, and if it wasn't for you, the household we done fell apart, and then the other person thinks the same thing, and it just
vice versa.
Yeah, just say vice versa.
Same thing about
man, and then you get so dug in to where you're in the same house, but you're separated. And and you can't seem to find a middle ground.
I've seen relationships like that.
And but see, that's a travesty though, because here you are in where you're living in the same house, but it's like you're apart. You gotta walk past the person, you gotta look at the person
and not be speaking to each other.
And see, when two stubborn people get that way, that means you really dug in. And somebody has to say, enough is enough. I'm gonna get out this hole that I'm in right now, and I'm gonna try to approach you with a little more dignity and respect, and see if we can compromise and meet each other in the middle.
Yes.
And I'm gonna try. So if I'm gonna try, that means you have to try.
You need to try too.
You have got to try.
You've got to try.
Because it was something simple that my wife said to me about my closet. Because she does the laundry 99% of the time. I do it 1%.
But I like an organized closet.
Yep, and it's my closet. But she put my clothes up in my closet. So she asked me a while back ago, a long time ago, if I would, when I take my clothes off the hanger, to bunch the empty hangers up together, so when she goes to do laundry, she just take the empty hangers in one group, and she don't have to search through my closet to pull the empty hangers out.
But that might be petty.
She mentioned it to me last night. When I got out of the shower, got my uniform and everything ready for work, and I went through the closet. I grabbed it. I grabbed the empty hangers, and I grouped them together, and I put them right there in the center of my closet.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it, and I said, I wonder, when she opened my closet up, would she notice that those hangers are sitting right there bunched up together, ready for her to pick up when she get ready to do laundry?
Thursday. I won't notice until Thursday.
But that was a compromise that I made, because that was something I had not been doing in the beginning, and I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it to be rebellious.
You just wasn't.
I just wasn't thinking about it, and that's the thing. Some of us we get into we're in our marriage, we don't think about.
You're just moving.
Our
just
actions.
Going through motions a lot of the time.
We don't think about it, so therefore, we just, like you said, we just go through it. We just do it. We just say it, and next thing you know.
But the thing is that. And that's what it kind of comes down to, is that we came to a place where I simply said, if you don't do this, then I'm not going to keep separating your clothes and organize them as I put them in the closet. Because I asked you, I said, don't you like it when you can just reach in the closet and know where your uniforms is versus your outdoor clothes versus your Sunday clothes? Because your Sunday clothes go here, your outdoor clothes go here, and your uniforms go here. But if you just gonna snatch stuff out and the hangers be popped all over the place, when I open the door and I'm tired of organizing your closet, I'm just gonna take all your clothes that I have and stick them right there in the middle. And that's what I started doing. And he said, yes. I said, so if you could try to. And you said, okay, I'll try. I said, mm-hmm. And you said, yes, I would try.
But you've got to believe in your spouse when they say they're gonna work on something.
And I do believe in you.
No, what was your?
I said,
we'll see. Yeah,
but what
I said was, what did I say? I will try.
And that's what you said.
I said, so it didn't warrant a response, because I said I will try. I didn't say I was going to succeed, but I said I was going to try to.
Mm-hmm. It's not a response.
It is. That means we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. So, but when you compromise, you have got to have some kind of belief in your spouse. You got to believe that they're going to work on the things that you're bumping heads on when you compromise and you're talking about.
And we didn't really bump heads on that though.
No, we didn't.
That was just
because but see, that's maturity. It's something that could have, with two bullheaded people, that's something that could have blown up. A hanger in a closet. Come on.
So in retrospect to all this that we are talking about, to get to where we are in our relationship, we have had to go through a lot. We did not just pop up here one day and have a good relationship.
Nope.
We've been married for over 30 years, been together for over 34 years, or at least 34 years.
35, I think.
Somewhere like that. but we have been together through a very, very, very long time, and we have had to learn each other and what works for us. Now, what everybody have to remember is that what works for us does not work for the other person, and also that everybody's going to go through something, and there's not one perfect relationship out there that you look at that you will see where, oh, it looks perfect from the outside. When people see us together on the outside, they might think that, you know, oh, they got such a good marriage, they got such a good relationship. We are very touchy-feely in public. I like to touch on him in public. All that touchy-feely at home. I like the public display of affection. At home, that affection leads to other things that we ain't always got to be bothered with. But the thing is that in every relationship that you are looking at, just put yourself in and look at it like, okay, that I know we all have good times, but all times are not perfect.
Right.
So that same person that you're looking at like, oh, they got such a wonderful relationship, just think, that's what you see right now. But when they get in the car, or they on their way home from church, or on their way to church, you don't ever know what be to happen. I know we done had some discussions and some disagreements. On the way to church some mornings. And be looking at each other's side-eyed the whole service. You be up there preaching, I still be looking at you cockeyed.
But I refuse to look at them.
But the thing is that you have to think about the other person. You in a relationship with them. Think about the words that are coming out your mouth and how they're coming out your mouth and how it's going to affect them. Think about the way that you're trying to get your way all the time or to manipulate the situation so that you can have your way. And just think about how that is possibly making the other person feel as you're doing it. And I'm not going to tell you no lie. I'm guilty of the whole way I say things in order to manipulate the situation sometimes to go in my behalf. And I pray about that because I don't ever want to make my husband feel like you have to do this or else it's going to make me feel some type of way. And he has expressed to me that I have made him feel like that. But it's the same thing. I've expressed to him the way that you're acting is making me feel like this. So these are things that we talk about with each other. And that's the thing. Constant communication. We talk about these things with each other. Even if it hurts my feelings or if it hurts his feelings, we have to get it out there so that he can know exactly how you are making me feel, and I can know exactly how I'm making him feel so that we can fix it. Because if you don't talk about it, you can't compromise on it, and you ain't going to be able to fix it.
Right.
Period.
I like what you just said. Can we end right there? Because we went over a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, it's fine. But, hey, man, there's been some great stuff, and I really enjoyed this conversation about stubborn and married. Because, you know,
and we appreciate everybody's comments as they've been commenting.
Yes, you guys have been wonderful with your comments, and it's something when you get married, but it's even better when you stay married.
Absolutely.
And it's good when you guys can grow past, you know, small immature things that allow you to bump heads in the beginning, and then you mature past those things, and you begin to. We use the word compromise a lot and communication a lot.
Those are key.
And if you're stubborn, start trying to compromise. Start trying to look for a positive way out of your stubbornness. And you never know. Just one person in a relationship can cause the other person to start to change because they see you change and they were like, wow, yes. I like what I see. Let me try that.
Yes.
So it can catch like a wildfire, and it can make your relationship, your marriage, so much better. With that being said, my name is Andrew.
And I'm Rhonda.
And we're 32 Forever. We appreciate you guys for following. If you haven't liked the page, go to 32 Forever, like, share, give us some hearts. Let us know that you're thinking about us, you love us, and all the good stuff. And we can't wait to see you guys again next week. So we'll see you guys on Tuesday right here at 7 p.m. We love you guys. Y'all be good. Bye.
Bye.